Hi, it's the 10th of November 2018 at 11:30 p.m. Firstly, let me give a shout out to my Taiwanese friends. Yeah, hi. If you're watching, I ran into three Taiwanese, two guys and a girl, on a street corner here in town. I was out buying bird seed, and these three were in this sort of, they're on a street corner, and there's no traffic here, it's very dead, and they were all taking selfies, and we don't see that here, and it was a bit strange, but they were just all caught up, in taking selfies. So I yelled at them as I went, stop looking at yourself, and they were all shocked, and I said, no, look around, look at one another, do something else. And they didn't know what to make of me. Oh, who's this weird, kids taking, young people taking selfies as par for the course, but not here in Grafton. Yeah, so I ran into them on the way back, and they took a photo with me and that sort of thing. And I was hoping to do a video earlier on, but I've had a bad week. I've been feeling rather down, almost depressed, and no energy, and just yawning, sleeping a lot. I thought, what on earth's happened? I thought, okay, I'm not drinking as much as I was, but I shouldn't be having that effect on me. I've even got suicidal in the end, and I thought, hey, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, so I looked it up tonight. And I've got this thing called SAD. It's a seasonal affective disorder. You get it, on the change of season. Winter going into summer or summer going into winter. Typically it's the latter. Summer going into winter. Gloomy season ahead and that sort of thing. But with me, it's always been the other way around, and it has been a problem all my life. But I've just never. I went to see a doctor about it once, and I used to ask people whether they'd heard anything about it. No. People came up with all sorts of ideas of, cabin fever, hay fever, that sort of thing. Just depressing. And I used to self-medicate, I really drink a lot at that time. And I could never understand it. But tonight, I thought, right, I've had enough of this. It took me about 2 minutes to find it, went Googled, and as soon as I saw it, I thought, I bet you any money you like, that'll be it. Sure was, had all the symptoms, one after the next. And I just thought, wow. Just a total lack of energy, just don't want to do anything. No, couldn't be bothered about anything. So I haven't done a vid all week. I've been meaning to, I thought I should, No, I just didn't want to. I just thought, no, go back to bed. But tonight, as soon as I only found out about 20 minutes ago, or half an hour ago now, I thought, I'll do a vid. I can work through it. Once I know what it is, I can work through it. And that's sort of what I'd like to talk about in the video. I've had drinks with, or some chats with some guys on the channel and what have you. And look, I think a lot of you are a bit down. I know I am. It's a struggle. We're not all in that situation, but for those some of us are doing it pretty hard, and it's not easy. And I sort of think it's important to really question how we got here and what might have led us to where we're at, to some extent. And I got a clue tonight, because it was, or earlier on, it was today. I was talking to a girl from Pal Talk. I'm helping her with English a bit. She's doing an English course. She's Turkish. Rainy girl. And that's her nick. And I asked her, I said, why do you go to adult rooms? Is it for sex? And she said, no, I like going on cam. I like people watching me on cam. She doesn't do anything, just, on cam. Makes herself up, looks pretty, nice tops and everything. But she said, I like it, but it was becoming too addictive. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't think it was healthy for me. I went, okay. It's the first time anybody's admitted to it. And she's really saying, yeah, no, she just liked the attention. Let's call it what it is, narcissistic supply. That's what she liked. But it was. She said it was becoming addictive. I said, yeah, apparently it's like a drug. And she said, yeah, it's just you need it more and more and more. And I said, yeah, and I found myself saying, yeah, if you don't get it, you get nasty. And it's just like a penny drop for me. It was just like, it's just like alcohol. You know, if you're an alcoholic and you can't get alcohol, it's like any addiction, I guess. You know, if you're a smoker, if you can't get what you want, you get niggly and nasty and that sort of thing. And it sort of made me think about my life and about, you know, all the comments I get on the channel and all you guys saying, you know, you're calling them nasty, horrible, you know, any number of expletives. But it made me think of, well, if they are indeed all narcissists, yeah, then maybe that's what's going on. You know, and the trouble is, you know, we don't give them their supply, so they get nasty. And I thought, I've just never seen it quite as simply as that. It was always this complicated, you know, sort of this, that, and that. But yeah, if it's like a drug, if it's like alcohol, you know, then, and you're not getting it, and you can't get it, yeah, you're going to get irritable, upset, angry, pissed off, any sorts of things. You're going to start accusing people of all sorts of stuff. And I thought, you know, I didn't say this to Rainey. I thought, yeah, because she'd gone, but afterwards I thought, yeah, it's like being in a bar, you know, own a bar, you know, so, and you've got, you know, you start off and then you get a guy come in. So you talk to him, you're all over him, you know, and yeah, because you want to keep him, you know, you don't want him to sort of, yeah, hi, you leave again. No, you keep him. And then eventually another guy will come in. And then you've got a dilemma, you've got a problem, because you've got to keep the first guy happy and the second guy happy. And this is life. I think this is really what happens in life a lot. You've then got to keep two people who both want attention, both want your attention. So you've got this problem. So, you know, it's not hard to imagine that, you know, you start talking to the second guy and the first guy says, oh, bugger you, I'll go to the publican down the road or the bar owner down the road. You know, I'll talk to him. I mean, that does happen. You know, it's because, you know, like, well, I was giving you all my money, you know, and then suddenly this new person came in and you've gone there. I mean, it just happens perpetually, everywhere. You know, really bad for me with my daughter, my eldest daughter. I had a child late, and I thought we'd only have the one. So, you know, probably it wouldn't have made any difference for what else otherwise, but I was all over her. You know, it was just like, she was perfect, she was great, completed my life, the whole thing, you know, it was just really, and I spent a lot of time with her and helped her, and she put herself out. And this is where her narcissism developed. She tried to make me happy. And it didn't work. It got worse, you know, when we did have a second daughter 5 years later. And so then I was left with a situation of, well, like in the bar, what do? You know, I can't maintain the same relationship with my eldest daughter. I've got to change in some way. And of course, when you do that, I don't know how to do that. And she's aware there's change, very sensitive, right? So there's a change. And then it just became, oh, I don't know how to describe it. There was no understanding at all, but it was what I'd actually done in that first 5 years. I'd created a narc who needed a supply, but I had no idea what this was. But you know, that's actually what I'd done. I created a narc who needed a supply, and you know, eventually it all became too problematic. I went online, and that actually made things a lot worse because, you know, I was then talking with people online, so they weren't getting, neither child of my child were getting my attention or their supply they wanted, particularly the eldest child, anymore. So she, you know, it just, the whole thing dissolved. But that's actually, and it's really complicated. It's not an easy thing. And if you think of your own life, that's probably what's been happening to you a lot. You don't mean anything by it, you know, you mean well, and you keep thinking, well, I did everything right. But what what seems to happen is that you create, like if you have a child, then you can create your own narc. But most of the time, you're fueling narcissism. I still see it in rooms and what have you. And guys just go bending over backwards. I think it's probably why mgtow hate PUA, in all honesty. They see it as and in fueling it, and complimenting them and kowtowing to them and what have you. It's like it's creating alcohol. With an alcoholic, you've got to buy. Somebody makes it and puts it in a can or a bottle, and then they drink it. Okay, but in this, you create it just by virtue of complimenting the person. It's like creating synthesising a drug out of thin air. So easy to do, but once you start, you really should have. You have to keep providing more and more and more and more. That's the situation. I had not thought of any of this up until I separated from my family, and I learned a lot about it then. But I'm still, even all these years later, still boiling it down to its simplest unit so I can understand it. But that's what you're doing. You're creating a drug with your mind. It's, oh, you're so nice, you're so beautiful. Look at your eyes. I love your ass. Yeah, what great tits you've got. And then as they get older, or if the novelty wears off, you don't do it as much and that sort of thing, and then you're used to it and they like it. This is what Rainey was saying. She was getting addicted to it. But she had the presence of mind to say, no, I don't think that's healthy. I'll step away from it. But how many women in your life do you know that would do that? I don't know any. I've never met anybody until her today when she said, no, I just, and she really said that, she just said, no, I don't think it was good for me. Better not to, so she doesn't go on cam anymore, she doesn't go looking for it. But, others have left, but, they never actually got to saying that's the situation. But she did, and I was able to fill it in for her, so, and that helped me as well, because it sort of really made it just that bit simpler, because it was out in the open. Somebody was actually saying it. So a woman. It's not just a guy. Let's face it, we're not completely sure that it's correct. We like to make it sound, but use a tone that sort of makes it sound like, that's what's happening. But when a woman actually says, that's what, I was getting addicted and I thought it was dangerous, so I stopped. Right, okay, it's coming out of the horse's mouth. That's confirming it as far as I'm concerned. Yep, and it's just, and I quickly deduced that, and if you weren't, if you did get fully addicted, just like an alcoholic, and you didn't get your narcissistic supply, then you would get a bit crabby, very crabby, angry perhaps. And I think underneath it all, I think that's as simple as it is. For one reason or another, we're all having trouble with women because they're all narcissists. And none, apart from Rainey, has got the ability to say, no. But I think that's a bad situation. And I was quite delighted to be able to say that to her. I was a bit surprised. I just thought, no, that's a sensible conversation. Makes a lot of sense. You can work around that. She's the second Turkish woman I've ever known. The first one was good too. I can't remember, it's a long time ago, but we were just friends. But it's the same sort of thing. But they had a better. I don't know, just more down to earth. I could understand, and it helped me. Whereas I find with Western women, they don't ever say that. So you're left up in the air with this uncertainty, that sort of thing. But with Rainey, I thought, that's it. That's the reason you're getting addicted. You don't want it anymore. So I would say in a lot of our cases, and I know I speak to some of you guys that I know you've got or had a couple of women in your life, sometimes 3, and then children on top of that. And you, I don't know exactly what your circumstances were, but I would say that we're all victim of the same thing, and you might not. As I was with my children, you start off quite innocent. You think, I just give her as much love, and I've done everything. And then what happened? And then one thing leads to another, and it gets really complicated, and because you've got an addict, you're dealing with an addict that you didn't even know was an addict. Okay? I guess that's as simple as it is. In dealing with any addiction, it's problematic. And when you're creating that addiction yourself through your mind, through or fueling it, or somebody else is fueling it, and you don't even know it's happening. It's as simple as if, your child does well at school, and they get all their teachers saying, "Oh, gee, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good." Yeah, that's actually fueling it. And teachers are encouraged, to reward, encourage. It's very encouraging. It's a good thing. It's a good drug. Problem is, it's a drug. Unlike any drug, it's an addictive drug. And you've got, whenever you're dealing with an addiction, you've got problems. And, it's, by the time you're on the back foot trying to, you haven't given them enough supply and what have you, and it's attack, it gets you down, you start defending yourself, you end up in a fight after fight after fight. That's what women want, isn't it, a fight? No, they want the narcissistic supply. But there reaches a point too where you think, no, I'm not going to give it to you. I just don't want to. I can't see why I should. Why should I give, it's like, I'm feeding an addiction. I don't get it, I don't want it. So why am I feeding your addiction? There are all sorts of problems with it that I don't think we talk about. We do a lot of complaining. Oh, they're this, they're that, they're rotten bitches, they're that, and something. And the women are no different. Oh, they're such and so, they're this and that and so. But I haven't met anybody that speaks like Rainey. And she's only in her 20s. But she was able to say, I could feel the addiction coming on, it wasn't good for me. Yeah, none of us talk like that. We're too busy, being emotional about all sorts of things. It just, after, having it was a very down-to-earth conversation, I thought, that's just how it is. We don't actually get to the point of what the problem is. And I'd say it's addiction. Anyway, it's been good talking to you, and I shall talk to you again shortly. Bye.